Good morning. Thank you all for being here today. If we could ask that you please take a moment to silence your cell phones. We will begin our ceremony this morning with a presentation of colors presented by the Joint Emergency Services Honor Guard, representing Carroll County's law enforcement, corrections, fire, and emergency medical services. The Honor Guard will also be laying a wreath to commemorate the National Police Memorial Day, which is today. I would ask that you please rise for the posting of colors. Corporal Michael Fitzgerald of the Carroll County Sheriff's Office will offer commands to the uniformed personnel in the audience this morning. All uniformed personnel, please remain covered. Please remain standing following the posting of the colors for our national anthem. The national anthem will be performed by Miss Jackie Claudy, a senior at Westminster High School. Honor Guard, please post the colors.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star
That was powerful. I feel like I should say, please stand up again, just to have you do it. Please join me in thanking Ivan Browning of the Montgomery County Fire and Rescue for playing the bagpipes. He is also the immediate past chair of the Mount Airy Volunteer Fire Company, as well as the current leader of the Carroll County Hazardous Materials Team. Also, a special thank you to the members of this Joint Emergency Services Honor Guard, comprised of members of our Carroll County Emergency Services community. Chaplain Pat Geyer with the Carroll County Sheriff's Office will now offer the invocation.
Thanks. Good morning. Before we begin our ceremony, we want to lift our hearts and prayers up for the president of the CC Visa, Donald Fair, who was seriously injured yesterday. Let's bow our head, please. Heavenly Father, you are a God of healing and you are the great physician. We ask that you bring a sense of peace, healing, and comfort to Donald. We ask that also you remind us daily to pray for him during his long recuperation. Thank you that you are much stronger than we are and that you are able to do all things to repair his body. And we thank you that you have so graciously spared his life. And we leave that at the foot of your throne, Father, knowing that you will answer our prayers. And now let us pray, Father, for the award ceremony today. We give you thanks today for the opportunity to come together in a spirit of unity and gratitude. We stand along with the Chamber of Commerce as they recognize the public safety members who will be recognized for exceptional service that they have performed and provided to our county and community in the past year. Father, they have met with and conquered many of the difficult challenges of our times today. Their dedicated service is highly valued, and we celebrate their dedication to answer the call of duty regardless of the sacrifice. We also pray now, Father, in advance for our meal. We ask that you bless the food to our bodies as we receive it and as we fellowship with one another. With hearts of gratitude, we also ask that you bless those that prepared it for us. Now oversee and be with us in all that we say and do during this special time. Amen.
Okay, good morning. Thank you so much for coming today. For those that don't know me, my name is Mike McMullin. I'm president of the Carroll County Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber is very happy, I think for the third year in a row, to be able to present this amazing event for a bunch of amazing folks. But amazing events like this, especially with the Chamber, because we are a nonprofit, do not happen without sponsors. So I want to say a quick thanks to our sponsors. And if you're in the audience, just stand up, please. Carroll Occupational Health. There they are. M&T Bank. I know we've got M&T Bank in the house. BGE. They always help us with events like this. Absolute Investigative Fingerprinting and Security Services. I'm not sure if they're here, but thank you so much. Trainers, Floors and Carpets. All those beautiful little flowers that you have in your area, they're all from them. Give them a round of applause. Thank you, Janelle. Evapco out of Tawnytown, thank you so much. Carroll Community College, they always come alongside of us. And how about the Community Media Center? These guys are amazing. Film all these events for us. Also, some other sponsors, the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 20, thank you so much. We've also got Motorola Solutions, Inc., thank you. And then Lawman Supply Company. We've got Carroll Lutheran Village. I don't know if I saw them here, but thank you. Oh, we've got them over there. Thank you so much. Westminster Car Wash. Sean over there does a great job. He couldn't make it today, but thank him. And go and get your cars washed over there. And then last but not least, Hankey's Radio. Thank you so, so much. I also want to thank the people on the committee that helped to make this event possible. If you're on the committee that helped to organize this event, would you please stand up? Lisa, that means you. These guys did a lot of work. Thank you so much. Special thanks to Miss Lisa Degitz. Lisa will be joining me in presenting the awards later. She's the practice manager for Carroll Occupational Health, as well as a member of the Chamber Board, and set to be chair of the board in a couple of years. And she's the chair of the committee that helped with this event. And this whole event was her idea a few years ago. Without her, this event would not be happening. So thank you again, Lisa. I want to thank all those who submitted nominations for these awards. The applications were reviewed by a chamber committee and selected by the same committee, and they were all extremely impressive. Our MC of the day, you will get to meet her in a few minutes, is Miss Jennifer Franciotti of WBAL. We're happy to have her back. She did the first year for us, so bringing her back, it's great. You can give her some applause. And I'd like to introduce our elected officials. I think it says a lot when elected officials come to events like this. It shows what they support. So if I've missed anybody, please stop me, because it's hard to keep track of them all, because not all elected officials realize they still need to register for events. Sometimes they just show up and say, I'm an elected official. No, I'm only kidding. We've got State's Attorney Brian DiLeonardo. We have Sheriff Jim DeWeese. We have Commissioners Steve Wantz. Steve actually registered for this event. We have Commissioner Ed Rothstein. I don't think he did. We also have Commissioner Dick Weaver. We have Carroll County Public School Superintendent Dr. Stephen Lockard. He's in the back. From the school board, we've got School Board President Donna Savigny. And we have Kenneth Kyler. And representing all the mayors of this lovely area here that we call Carroll, from the smallest town in Carroll, the only mayor here, we thank you, and may your reign last forever, Perry Jones, the mayor of Union Bridge. We also have the president of Carroll Community College, Dr. Jim Ball, who happens to serve on the Chambers Board. I don't often introduce him, but I think it is only right to introduce Carroll County Director of Economic Development, Mr. Jack Lyburn, so responsible for so many of the great things happening here in Carroll. He's all the way in the back. He's very bashful. And we also have our past mayor of Westminster and newly elected Westminster City Councilman, Mr. Kevin Dayhoff. Kevin, where are you? There he is. And an important post with us is our chair of the board. So it's only right to introduce our past chairs. We have Mr. Steve Aquino of Aquino Financial Group. If you ever have a meeting and you need people to be quiet, he's got a whistle that will just cut through everything. It's great. And I think sitting right next to him is Mr. Dave Bollinger from Barnes Bollinger Insurance. We have Lynn Wheeler, Director Emeritus of Carroll County Public Library System. And Ms. Suzette Kovalt from Farmers and Merchants Bank. Suzette, where are you? Okay, now's your chance. Don't talk about it later that I missed you. Did I miss any elected officials or any past chairs? Very good. Excellent. That gives me, we're going to go now to a point where we're going to hear from one of our commissioners. Commissioner Steve Wantz, District 1. I'm going to bring him up here for a brief welcome. I didn't mean to pause there. I was trying to find my spot in the script. Commissioner Wantz is serving as president of the Commissioners Board, and he retired from Baltimore County after serving as a firefighter for 30 years. So how about a big round of applause for Commissioner Steve Wantz?
Good morning. He said brief. It's great to see a crowd out here this morning like this for one of the most important things that this county does. So thank you to everyone for taking time out of your day to be here. It's remarkable to see all the faces out here. And gosh, the sun was out this morning. So if that's not a good thing, then I don't know what is. So on behalf of my colleagues and everybody across county government, we want to thank all of you for everything that you do. We gather here this morning to honor those who risk their own lives to save and protect others. I would personally like to thank the Carroll County Chamber of Commerce and all of those who were responsible for developing, planning, contributing, and every aspect of the details surrounding this ceremony, which has become an honorable annual event. Thank you all very much, and especially Lisa, who this idea, as Mike said, originated a couple years ago now. Is this the third? So thank you all very much. Appreciate that. You know, government's first duty and highest obligation is public safety, whether on the local, municipal, state, or federal level. Its meaning, ensuring that delivering life-saving services, crime and violence prevention, preparing for natural disasters, domestic terrorism, and the list goes on, is ready and able. This also includes ensuring that all of the men and women who serve have what they need to professionally provide. The public generally becomes complacent when it comes to these services, as they automatically assume they will get what they need when they call for it. The majority have little or no idea what occurs prior to those calls and the sacrifice that surrounds the preparation and delivery. Each and every day, public safety personnel exhibit exceptional courage, extraordinary decisiveness, and remarkable decision-making, in most cases involving split-second decisions in situations where there is not the slightest room for error. What does that include? From the initial 911 call to the successful mitigation of the incident and everything in between. And remember, all risk their lives without hesitation on behalf of total strangers. It goes without saying that our dedicated public servants make exceptional contributions to their communities beyond measure. I've been involved in public safety for over 45 years now in many jurisdictions, and I've lived these life sacrifices. A few short 6 years ago, coming up next week, I lived this firsthand when one of my dearest friends and brothers in the fire service died in the line of duty. I remember where I was and what I was doing to the minute that day when sacrifice took on a whole new meaning for me. Robert Fogel served with me in the Baltimore County Fire Department and also at the Pleasant Valley Volunteer Fire Company. And he, along with all that I serve and continue to serve with, go above and beyond the call of duty to be there when life hangs in the balance. All that serve, whether in law enforcement, fire and EMS, emergency management, communications, the list goes on, will tell you they're just ordinary people. All across this county and great state and nation, ordinary people do extraordinary things each and every minute of the day. And to say thank you at an event such as this remains most important. Most will tell you, we don't need to be thanked. It's what we do. We should say thank you on a regular basis to those who run in while everybody else is running out. We are experiencing challenging times, and the heroic efforts by all should never go unnoticed. Every single day, we're surrounded by negative news. Negative news that seems to be never ending. So, thank you for all that you do. I have and continue to admire all those who I work beside in this business. You're the finest, the bravest, and the most admirable folks I know. To all of you who serve both here and across the world, as we should also never forget those in our armed forces, we honor you, and not just today, but every day. Take time out of your busy lives to thank those in uniform, especially in the coming weeks as we will be acknowledging Memorial Day and all those activities surrounding that important day. It remains my honor to wear the badge, and it remains my honor to salute all of you. So again, thank you to the Chamber of Commerce. Today we pause to say thank you for your exemplary service, the recognition of excellence, morale, your culture of commitment, your consistently high standard of performance and motivation is a part of yours and our lives. It should be a part of everyone, each and every day. The same schedule that all of you are on, never really off duty, always willing to step up and step in when called. Thank you. We give you our safest regards and congratulations for choosing this critically important path in all of your lives. All of you are to be commended. God bless you and stay safe.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Wantz. At this time, I would like to bring Ms. Lisa Degitz up. I know we've said a couple times, and she's extremely humble, but whenever I look at a group like this, and an event like this, and I realize this is only happening because of one of our members who said, let's do it, and I'll help to lead the charge. I mean, Peggy does a lot of work. We should give a round of applause to Peggy, too. She does a lot of work on this event. But this, like so many of the larger community events that we do, would not happen without one of our members, and so I'm going to bring Lisa up to introduce our MC. Give her a round of applause.
In a minute, we will begin our awards portion of this ceremony. Our MC will read the names of those receiving recognition, and in the case of the large group awards, she will differentiate between those who should join her on stage and those who will come forward and stand at the base of our stage. The award recipients will then remain at the stage as our MC, Jennifer Franciotti, reads the excerpts of the nominations for the winner. The award recipients will remain at the stage as their picture is taken by our photographer, Miss Kelly Heck. Now, to introduce our MC for this event, Miss Jennifer Franciotti. Jennifer is a longtime reporter and anchor for WBAL-TV. She's a huge Ravens fan and a big supporter of the Maryland Special Olympics. She's a cheerleader for all things Maryland, and Jen lives right here in Westminster with her husband and her daughter. Please welcome Miss Jennifer Franciotti.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. This was such an easy thing to say yes to. Mike asked me to do it the first time. Unfortunately, I couldn't do it last year, and I'm so honored and proud to be able to be here with you this year. As I look out here in the room, I see so many faces that I already know. Some of you I've been on rooftop with, at Dunkin' Donuts. We've spent some time up there. I've plunged with some of you. I have been pulled over on the side of the road with others of you. You well know my heavy foot at 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm making my way into the station. But no matter what we've done together, whether it's telling all the countless stories, good mostly, that's what I really love to do, but sometimes tragic stories that we have to tell, I have always been so amazed and blown away by your professionalism, your humanity, and really just how much you are committed to helping others. So thank you all so much for having me here today. I really appreciate it. And this really would not be happening either without all of those who have served on the Chamber's Public Safety Awards Committee. You've really made this possible, and it's so important to recognize everyone here today. So even though if you're here and you're not getting an award, we all value you all very, very much. So thank you so much. We are now going to move to the awards presentation. So I would like Mr. Mike McMullin to come up along with Lisa Degitz, joining me on stage to hand out the awards. So I'm going to read the names of those receiving recognition. I'm also going to let you know who should join us on stage to receive the awards. And then in case of those larger group awards, I'm going to let you know who should come forward to stand at the base of the stage. The award recipients will then remain at the stage as I read some of these excerpts. So please remain at the stage to have your picture taken by a photographer. Some of this is just going to take a little bit of maneuvering, but we're going to be able to get it all done. Are we ready for the first award? All right, we're going to start with Prosecutor of the Year. The award for Prosecutor of the Year goes to Stephen R. Rocher, Senior Assistant State's Attorney for Carroll County. All right, well, 30 years prosecuting criminal cases must surely have had a toughening influence on Stephen Rocher. Yet he is known for having a kind heart, compassion for his crime victims. Steve spent more than 2 decades in the Baltimore County State's Attorney's Office and several years with the Office of the Attorney General. This is where he acquired the legal expertise and courtroom skills that only such long service can build. So today we stand fortunate and in deep gratitude for the years that Steve has served as prosecutor for the people of Carroll County. For the past 3 years, he has been working with the Special Victims Unit with the Carroll County State's Attorney's Office. And in this vein, he has really seen some of the worst cases. but it is his natural kindness and his special manner as he works with the victims of terrible deeds that makes him an especially valuable member of this unit, significantly contributing to its high percentage of success. Young prosecutors and interns hold him in high esteem. Recently, Steve was faced with the case of a very young child who was victimized in a sexual assault. The jury trial lasted multiple days, and prior to that trial, from the day the assault was reported, Steve spent many hours with the child and his mother. With sincerity, kindness, and patient understanding, he forged their bond of confidence in him that ultimately led to a conviction. This is a case that is a prime example of the way Stephen Rocher approaches his calling, and this is why he is Prosecutor of the Year. Congratulations. The next award goes to Correctional Officer of the Year. The award for Correctional Officer of the Year goes to Correctional Deputy Lonnie Jursild, Carroll County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Jursild has been employed with the Sheriff's Office since February 19th of 1998. He is currently assigned to the Work Release Unit within the Security Services Division. Deputy Jursild has been identified by his commanders and coworkers as a person who consistently takes initiative and makes recommendations to make the detention center a safer place to work. Lonnie exhibits leadership, integrity, and sets positive examples for others to follow. He completes assigned tasks and he goes above and beyond his normal duties. Deputy Jursild consistently displays exceptional competence, sound judgment, and depth of professional knowledge in the execution of his responsibilities. He carries himself as a role model who leads by example. With his perseverance and dedication to duty, Lonnie consistently exceeds the expectations of his supervisors, and for this and so many other reasons, please join us in recognizing the Correctional Officer of the Year, Lonnie Jursild. Dispatcher of the Year. The award for Dispatcher of the Year is presented to Carroll County Emergency Communications Center Shift Day, reporting for night shift. Now, before we view the video concerning this award, we're going to have the following people come up to the stage to accept the award. Supervisor Charles Green Jr. and Supervisor Malcolm Helwig. And will the following people who are instrumental in this award also please come forward and just stand at the base of the stage? Emily Franklin, Sean Donovan, Kim Jones, Alexandra Wonderroop, Hannah Boyer, John Carroll, Carrie Harris, Chris Bowman, Bridget Weishar, Stevie Barnes, Matt McMullin, and Valerie Hawkins.
The evening of July 25th, 2018, Carroll County experienced the onset of what would turn out to be a series of frequent, very strong, and at times even severe storms that generated both rainfall rates and total accumulations of historic proportions. Now, the first indication of just how challenging and out of the ordinary conditions had become occurred at 6:20 p.m. when Medic 18 from the Mount Airy Volunteer Fire Company notified the Emergency Communications Center via radio that it had encountered water running across Maryland Route 27 in the vicinity of Nicodemus Road. Now, this was quite unusual, as this area is not normally prone to flooding, and rarely is it the first to do so in that area. Now, at the time it was received, no one could have known that the report from Medic 18 was an omen of things to come. In the few minutes that followed Medic 18's notification, the activity level in the ECC would change dramatically, rising almost instantly to rates rarely experienced. At just 6:26 p.m., 6 minutes after Medic 18's transmission, the first of many calls reporting swift water rescue incidents was received. Now, before midnight, the Emergency Communications Center dispatched a total of 14 such swift water rescue incidents. That reportedly resulted in 11 persons being successfully rescued or safely evacuated from the raging flash floods. This extraordinary demand for swift water rescues quickly exhausted pre-designated resources. But not surprisingly, on-duty staff rose to the occasion, coordinating with the county's emergency management staff to communicate the need for additional resources with and successfully acquiring same from neighboring jurisdictions and the state. In less than 6 hours following Medic 18's initial report of the water running across Maryland Route 27, ECC staff entered 206 calls for service, 59 for fire and emergency medical services, 52 for roads operations or some other government agency, and 95 for law enforcement. And in Carroll County ECC's case, that would mean for the Carroll County Sheriff's Office or one of the 3 municipal police departments that are affiliated with our center. 6 personnel were scheduled to work the July 25th, 26th evening overnight shift. Now, it was only minutes after receipt of the initial reports of the significant flash flooding that was occurring and the ensuing need for multiple swiftwater rescues that Shift Supervisor Green and Assistant Manager McGinnis consulted and quickly determined that additional staff was needed. A request for immediate assistance from all off-duty emergency communication staff was issued, and this resulted in 7 additional personnel coming in to assist. In addition, then acting, now the official Emergency Management Manager, Ms. Valerie Hawkins, aware of the extraordinary events taking place, self-reported to the primary Emergency Operations Center. The dedicated and professional women and men that continuously staff the county's Emergency Communications Center truly are the first responders. The services they provide are invaluable, and their efforts clearly set the tone for the likely outcome of the incident at hand, and quite possibly making the difference between life and death. There is no better example of the crucial role these remarkable individuals fill and the very positive influence their efforts can have than the events that occurred the evening of Wednesday, July 25th, 2018.
I read these things and I wonder, why didn't we know about them? We could have done stories on these people. It'd be incredible. All right, Law Enforcement Officer of the Year. We are pleased to have 2 recipients for Law Enforcement Officer of the Year. The first award for Law Enforcement Officer of the Year goes to Trooper First Class Derek R. Eckert, Maryland State Police, Westminster. Trooper First Class Eckert is a young man who brought with him an impressive range of skills, knowledge, and experience when to the good fortune of his command and the citizens of Carroll County, he was assigned as a member of the Westminster State Police Barrack. From 2010 to 2014, he gained valuable experience as an emergency communications operator for both York and Carroll counties, thereby informing him of the many challenging situations in which police officers and other emergency responders are often engaged. Perhaps it served to inspire him to his own entry in law enforcement. Additionally, since 2008, TFC Eckert has served as an EMT and firefighter with the Hampstead Volunteer Fire Company. He has demonstrated the heart and temperament required for the noble service of law enforcement and draws upon a deep well of energy and dedication in the performance of his duty. He puts forth the maximum effort and a professional demeanor in all of his undertakings, whether routine enforcement, patrol activities, or an extraordinary criminal investigation involving search and seizure warrants. One such case stands out. In July of 2018, he was called to investigate the abduction of an infant. Through relentless investigation, a suspect was identified, and by innovative use of cell phone technology, TFC Eckert located the suspect in the Glen Burnie area. It was his ability to formulate an effective plan and coordinate the efforts of a wide range of personnel and resources that resulted in the safe recovery of the child, the apprehension of the perpetrator, who was then charged with kidnapping along with other charges. And beyond all of his professional virtues is the spirit of civic duty and volunteerism, not only by his off-duty role with Hampstead, but also by his charitable participation in civic programs. It is very clear he loves the people of this community. So please join me in recognizing Law Enforcement Officer of the Year, Trooper First Class Derek R. Eckert. The award for Supervisor of the Year goes to Sergeant Stephen L. Parison. Sergeant Parison is a 21-year veteran of law enforcement. In 1998, he began his career with the Oxford Bureau Police Department in Pennsylvania and the New Garden Township Police prior to becoming a Maryland State Trooper in 2004. Since his promotion in April of 2018 and assignment to the Westminster Barrack, Sergeant Parison has consistently demonstrated the high virtues of a true leader. He stands as an example of self-discipline, military appearance, bearing, and attitude that his troopers are inspired to emulate. The sergeant projects a positive can-do attitude and enthusiasm for duty that results in the superior performance of the troopers under his command, which ultimately accrues to the benefit of the citizens of Carroll County and reflects the honor of the Maryland State Police. While Sergeant Parison has earned the respect of his command, his peers and subordinates, and of course those above him as well, he also knows the value of leading from the front and takes every opportunity to engage with his group in active law enforcement operations. Indeed, he has compiled an impressive record of enforcement statistics unmatched by his fellow supervisors, which include hundreds of citations, vehicle stops, repair orders, arrests for DUI, controlled substances, and warrants served. His troopers have confidence in Sergeant Parison. They know that he is out there with them, ready to back them up on serious calls for service. He is a teacher by word and example, including helping them to develop expertise in search and seizure, departmental policy, and criminal law. His loyalty to the members of his command and to the Maryland State Police is equaled by his loyalty and dedication to duty and the competence with which he performs it. We are so proud to name Sergeant Stephen L. Parison as our Supervisor of the Year. The award for distinguished achievement goes to a group of organizations and individuals who rose to the occasion in a very big way and at a time when others were potentially in harm's way. Before we see this next video for this award, would the following critical incident stress management team members please come to the stage to accept awards on behalf of their organizations? Carroll County Health Department, Ed Singer. Westminster Police Department, Chief Thomas Ledwell. Carroll County Sheriff's Office Sheriff Jim Deweese. Carroll Community College, Dr. James Ball. Carroll County Public Library Executive Director Andrea Burstler. Best Western, Macy Hipp. Carroll County Department of Economic Development, Jack Lyburn. Friendship Baptist Church Comfort Dogs, Lori Colson. Will the following people who are instrumental in this award also please come forward and stand at the base of the stage? From the Health Department, Amy Baker and Veronica Dietz. From the Westminster Police Department, Captain Nikki Hewer and retired Chief Jeff Spalding. From the Sheriff's Office, Sergeant Dustin Boone, Detective Jill Bankard, and Sergeant Mike Zepp. And from Carroll Community College, Captain Ann Wright.
On Thursday, June 28, 2018, 5 Capitol Gazette employees, Rob Hyson, Wendy Winters, John McNamara, Rebecca Smith, and Gerald Fishman, were killed during the mass shooting in Annapolis. Since the motive was not initially known, employees of the Gazette's sister paper, the Carroll County Times, were evacuated from their office in Westminster. The Times team was devastated and unsure of whether their own lives were at risk. After hearing the news, I spoke with Dr. James Ball, president of Carroll Community College. He extended a temporary home to the Times staff. I then called Sheriff Jim Deweese for advice on how best to help the Times staff through such a traumatic experience. Sheriff Deweese rallied the Carroll County Critical Incident Stress Management Team to be at the college when the Times staff arrived. The team was comprised of the Carroll County Health Department, Sheriff's Office, Westminster Police Department, and the college's campus police. The CISM team, Carroll Community College, Carroll County Public Library, the Best Western, Economic Development, and Friendship Baptist Church all helped the Times cope with a shocking tragedy and begin the healing process. During the month that followed, the Times was given ongoing counseling support, a safe work environment, supplies, food, extra surveillance, sheriff escorts, comfort dogs, and help finding a permanent office that will continue to remain undisclosed. Although the horrific events of June 28th did not occur in Carroll County, our county organizations responded quickly, working together to ensure the Times staff was safe and fully supported in every way possible when they needed it most. In spite of insurmountable odds, the Carroll County Times was able to publish the newspaper the next day. We are truly blessed to have such a close-knit and caring community. What better example of distinguished achievement in a time of extreme crisis?
Very well said. Please give another round of applause to all here receiving this Distinguished Achievement Award. It's a lot of people to coordinate. The Chamber's annual Life Saving Award is presented to the Gamber and Community Fire Company and to the Reese and Community Fire Company. So will the following individuals please come to the stage to accept the awards on behalf of their fire companies? Gamber and Community Fire Company Chief Charles Green Jr., Reese and Community Fire Company Chief Dan Blosky. And will the following people who are instrumental in this award also please come forward and stand at the base of the stage? Gamber Volunteers Firefighter EMT Jack Brown, Engineer Dale Bollinger, Firefighter EMT Jesse Claggett, and Lieutenant Sean Chenoweth. Reese Volunteers Firefighter EMT Gerald Shaw. On the 6th of August 2018, late in the afternoon, it was the rapid and expert response of the dedicated firefighters at EMT of the Gamber and Reese Fire Companies working together that saved a man's life. It was 4:45 p.m. when the 911 center received an urgent call for help. A man had been swarmed and stung when he stepped onto a bee's nest and was struggling to breathe in a severe allergic reaction. When firefighter EMT Jack Brown and firefighter IVT Jesse Claggett of the Gamber Company arrived on the scene only 6 minutes later, the man's breathing had ceased and he was in cardiac arrest. Firefighter Brown immediately initiated CPR, while firefighter Claggett administered epinephrine to counteract the allergic reaction. Men of the Gamber Volunteer Fire Department, Chief Charlie Green, Lieutenant Sean Chenoweth, and Engineer Dale Bollinger, and Reese Medic Unit 99 were on their way. They arrived on the scene only 2 minutes later. With breathing and consciousness restored to the patient, Medic 99 transported him to Carroll Hospital, continuously administering to him on the way, enabling him to make a full recovery. And in a thoughtful act of kindness, Lieutenant Chenoweth took the distraught lady who had called for help to the hospital so that she wouldn't have to drive herself. It was the calm, expert action by these highly trained and dedicated men that made this day end well for all. The couple whose well-being they had restored later came by the station to offer their gratitude, which was received with much appreciation. So congratulations to our annual Life Saving Award winners. Congratulations, everyone. Next, the Silver Medal of Bravery Award. The Silver Medal of Bravery Award is presented to the following individuals, and I ask them all to come up to the stage to be recognized. From the Carroll County Sheriff's Office, Master Deputy William Kyle Bargett. Master Deputy Michael Przynski. Deputy First Class Timothy A. Lookingbill. Deputy Corey L. Mosier. And Sergeant Anthony Smith, Baltimore Environmental Police Department. And we do have a video for you.
On July 20th, 2018, at 11:45 a.m., law enforcement was dispatched to the Liberty Reservoir boat ramp in Eldersburg for a report of a vehicle submerged in the water. Carroll County Sheriff's Deputies Kyle Bargett, Timothy Lookingbill, Michael Przynski, Corey Moser, and Baltimore Environmental Police Sergeant Antoine Smith responded to the call. Upon arriving, Deputies Bargett, Moser, and Lookingbill observed a vehicle approximately 50 yards from the shoreline sinking in the water. As they approached the shoreline, the vehicle disappeared and became completely submerged in the water. They also observed two bystanders treading water near the vehicle yelling for help. Without hesitation or concern for their own safety, Deputies Bargett and Lookingbill removed their ballistic vests and duty belts and entered the water in an attempt to provide assistance to the citizens. Deputy Bargett and Lookingbill swam to the area where the vehicle was last seen, at which time the citizens told Deputy Bargett that there was a person trapped in the driver's seat of the vehicle. Deputy Bargett immediately dove down and swam towards the bottom of the reservoir, where he was able to identify one occupant still trapped in the driver's seat. After surfacing for air, Deputy Bargett dove down again and was able to get the vehicle door open, but could not remove the occupant. Deputy Bargett again resurfaced for air and dove one last time and was able to locate the driver and pull him from the vehicle and bring him to the surface, where Deputy Lookingbill and Sergeant Smith, who had also entered the water, assisted Deputy Bargett in pulling the driver to shore. Seeing that the deputies and officer were exhausted, Deputies Brzezinski and Moser dove into the water and assisted in bringing the driver to shore, where he was turned over to medics that had just arrived on the scene. Although life-saving efforts were ultimately not successful, the deputies and officers involved put their lives in danger in order to try and save another. Their acts were selfless and done without hesitation, and I'm humbled that I get to work with and alongside such brave men.
The Gold Medal of Valor Award is presented to a host of individuals and organizations for a single incident. And before we watch the video, will the following people please come to the stage to receive your awards on behalf of your organizations? The Gamber Water Rescue Team Volunteers, Westminster Fire Engine and Hose Company No. 1, Chief Jason Tyler. Gamber and Community Fire Company, Captain Chad Hastings. Pleasant Valley Community Fire Department, Chief Forrest Shaw. Reese and Community Fire Company Assistant Chief Michael Knight, Manchester Volunteer Fire Department Lieutenant Jeremy Spurline, and New Windsor Fire Department Chief Thomas Coe. Will the following people also please come to the front and stand in front of the stage? Westminster Volunteers, John Haddad, Lieutenant Corey Maluski, Sergeant Bryce Ballard, Michael Deal, Anthony Gramacioni, Tyler Bowers, Edward Burrell Jr., Billy Buck, Andre Berry, Matthew Hafler, and Eric Bostian. Gamber Volunteers, Lieutenant Sean Chenoweth, Lieutenant Ian Runkles, Sergeant Patrick Livesey, Bo Stansberry, George Seifert, Christopher Windsor, Lieutenant Joel Capel, Sergeant Jeremy Hutton, Michael Franklin, and Sean Baldwin. Pleasant Valley Volunteer, Danny Leister. Reese Volunteers, Lieutenant Jeffrey Schaefer, Daryl Cornett, Kyle Hale, and Daryl Tawney. Manchester Volunteer, Ben Epley. New Windsor Volunteers, Assistant Chief Mike Moser, Jeff Lease, John Grau, and Marcel Munschauer.
On July 25, 2018, an evening summer storm dumped around 8 inches of rain over most of Carroll County. Fire and rescue units had already been dispatched to water rescues in the Westminster area. Just after 7 p.m., Carroll County Communications received a 911 call for an occupied vehicle in swift water on Sullivan Road near Lemon Road. Westminster Fire Department were the first to arrive and advised they had a passenger van with 4 occupants unable to leave the vehicle due to the moving water. They had a white van with water over the hood and rising upwards towards the windows. The vehicle was filling with water, windows were up, and the vehicle had no power. It was determined that there were 4 occupants in the vehicle, 3 adults and 1 minor. Command received a report from a bystander that her husband was in the water attempting to reach the van and is now missing. 3 swiftwater technicians made their way out to the vehicle with 4 personal flotation devices. The rescuers punched out 2 windows of the vehicle, quickly assessed the condition of the victims. All were unharmed but scared, and had them put on their PFDs for safety. Rescuers removed the minor from the vehicle first, taking her back upstream to a guardrail that was submerged in the water, the guardrail acting as a barrier to help slow the water. One of 3 rescuers walked the minor out, handing her off to the other 2 swiftwater technicians nearby midway, and they continued walking the minor back to the shoreline. The rescuer went back to the vehicle. They would continue this one by one until the remaining 3 adult victims were removed from the vehicle in the same fashion. The additional fire rescue units assisted along and downstream as safety resources. The person reported missing was found safe downstream during the incident.
It's always so hard to get law enforcement officers to smile, so it's nice that we're in a happy event today, that everyone can smile and really enjoy the fact that everyone has been so kind and did their job with such expertise. And poise, and it's just amazing to be here. So thank you all so much. This does conclude the Carroll County Chamber of Commerce's 3rd annual Carroll County Public Safety Awards. So thank you for coming and supporting everyone here. Thank you for our sponsors. Without your generous support, this event would not have been possible, and congratulations to everyone who is recognized today. Thank you to Chamber of Commerce as well for putting on such an outstanding community event. This is the Chamber's 95th anniversary, by the way. So once again, Chamber President Mike McMullin coming up for some closing remarks. Mike.
Thank you. Thank you. And Jem, we're going to sign you for a 15-year deal here. Is that okay? Nice to have you here. I just want to thank again everybody for coming. You know, you go into an event like this, and it's like we don't do a lot of events that deal with law enforcement and different things, so trying to make sure everything works out, and it seemed like it worked out pretty well. So what an amazing group of folks we have here, right? I was thinking to myself, you know, there are a lot of us, maybe not a lot of us in this room, but there are a lot of people who have jobs where you can have a real off day and just kind of not fire on all 6 or all 8 or whatever and just have a really bad day. But a lot of people in this room kind of can't have a real bad day. You know, when you're trying to find some little kid that somebody's taken and you kind of miss, that changes a life. But when you find them, I was just thinking, my grandson had to go in for an operation last week. He's six months old, and it all went well. But I was thinking, man, if this guy had had a bad day, what would the outcome have been? And so many in this room, you guys keep us safe. You put your lives on the line, and you don't always get thanked. In fact, we first started this event, well, it was Lisa's idea, but I really wanted to do it because, especially at that time, it seemed like people in law enforcement and were really getting a bad rap all over the place in the media. And it just is so awesome what you all do. You're all heroes. You all don't wake up saying, boy, I hope I get an award at the Chamber's next year event. But you guys all do an amazing job. So how about a round of applause for everybody in here? And she's not here right now, but this is being filmed. How about the girl that sang the national anthem, Jackie? What a great job. I mean, usually you clap at a national anthem. I told her in advance, I said, look, don't feel bad. They're probably not going to clap. This is not like an O's game, and probably nobody's going to say, oh, which no one did, which was really good. I don't know that I have any other announcements except to say that, am I missing any announcements, Peg, aside from bringing up Pat Geyer? What? Centerpieces, thank you. The nice flowers that you have, what we'd like to say is if your birthday, how does this work? If you are sitting at your group and your birthday is closest to today, that's yours to take with you. Of course, if you're like half the people in here that won't even do that little game, and you're the last one to leave the table, well, then it's yours to take with you. So, but thank you again to Janelle. They're beautiful. She spent a lot of time last night putting these together. So, very, very nice job. Okay, I'd like to bring up again Chaplain Pat Geyer with the Carroll County Sheriff's Office to give our benediction, and then we will be free to go. Pat, still here? Oh, there she is. She almost knocked me over earlier in the day, so, all right, very good.
Let's bow our heads. Father, as we close our ceremony, we once again pray for all our public safety members who do such a fine job in our county. We ask for your divine protection over them as they perform their duties, regardless of the risk they take for their own lives. Keep them safe and remind each one of us to keep them in our thoughts and prayers as they go about their work, and keep them safe and sound for us. At the end of the day, bless them and bring them home to their families, their homes, give them inspiration for the next day's work, and we trust, Father, that you will safely keep your hand of protection on them as each day's call of duty comes. Thank you again for this wonderful ceremony and the heroes that sit in this room. Amen.